because you'll be playing some Mario Tennis this Christmas. Speaking of Smash, we got some new DLC, and the ballot ends soon. Plus, Zach and Justin sat down with 13 AM Games, the creators of Runbow, to discuss the future of the game. It looks pretty awesome. Plus this, and our first hands-on impression with Animal Crossing Happy Home Design. Your questions and so much more. Zachary, cue the music.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Nintendo Dads Podcast. My name is Zach Erickson, and tonight is Wednesday, September 30th. Joining me tonight for Nintendo Extravaganza is Justin Masson. What's going on tonight, Justin?
Just wanting an Extravaganza now, as we've talked about before. Extravaganzas.
I don't know, with a little side bacon. I don't know.
Wow.
Yeah. Speaking of side bacon, joining us as well is Jesse Waldak from VG Tribune. What's going on tonight, Jesse?
Ew.
That's fantastic, Zach. That's fantastic.
I don't know what it means.
I just got back from seeing Attack on Titan Part 1, the movie.
Is that like in theaters? Like, what is this, like an American release?
It's a very limited run. It's like only, like, Part 1 is only out this weekend in like 4 theaters. Like the local theater about a mile away from my house had one showing, and that's what we went to. If we didn't get that one, there was like 3 or 4 other showings this weekend that I wanted to get the one on Wednesday just because it was closest. But
that's crazy.
And then Part 2, they're going to do another thing in about 3 weeks for Part 2. It'll be like 3 or 4 days across 3 or 4 different theaters, and it'll be the Tuesday. It'll be Tuesday instead of Wednesday, but it's Part 2 is just a one shot. If you don't see it that time, you don't see it at that theater.
Crazy, dude.
It's an awful movie, but still fun to watch.
The
effects are horrible.
Oh, really? Well, it's live action, isn't it?
It's live action, yes.
Oh, man.
The
craziness.
The look on the Titans' faces are just laughable.
That's hilarious. Well, they kind of were like that in the anime, too.
It's even worse in live action.
Welcome to Attack on Titan Dads. We're going to get straight into our into the news, shall we? So, this week has been a little bit slow, I think. I mean, with all that's been going on. Today there was a little bit more news, but one of the biggest things is, ladies and gentlemen, congratulations. We knew Star Fox Zero has been moved to next year, and I want to call it now, or say that I called it before. If they were going to delay Star Fox Zero, then... Well, actually, I think I said Animal Crossing Amiibo Festival was going to be in the new Star Fox. But instead, Mario Tennis Ultra Smash coming out November 20th. Obviously, I'm actually realizing as I speak that there is one more thing I'm going to put in the news. So feel free to just, look at the doc, I guess, guys. But in general as well, Mario Tennis coming this fall. Does this live up to what it needs to be a big holiday title? What do you think, Justin?
No.
They haven't shown anything of it. Have they shown anything?
Not since E3.
Here's the problem. At E3, anyone want to know how long here's an idea. How long did they spend at E3 talking about this game?
At the time, I specifically remember saying, there's no way this is coming out. They haven't shown anything. It's half-baked. It's getting pushed. And
I think, if I recall correctly, this was 1 minute of the 45 minutes they delivered was on this game, and it was merely a trailer.
And everyone is like, what is this and why do we want it?
Yeah, and the only thing that was different about it was the Mega Mushroom, right? That's the only thing that we've seen so far, other than the regular sort of Mario Tennis-y parts to it. So
now I'm gonna say the following. You may be someone who loves Mario Tennis, and you may be like, oh, I can't wait for this game to come out. This is exactly what I wanted. And if you're that person, please
You
send
are
us
part of the problem.
Send,
Oh.
send us a message. Like, I mean, there are franchises that everyone like really might love that are, you know, if this is your franchise, oh, that's awesome for you. I'm excited for you. Tell me why I should be excited. But we had a Twitter conversation with some of our awesome contributors. You know, Brett Babin got in on this one. As I recall, Eli started talking about it as well. But like, this is like a third tier title, right? I mean, if you're putting tiers of like Zelda was number one, like that's a top tier game, it's a top tier character, top tier franchise. Then you've got Star Fox. Okay, I'm sorry to tell you, it's a B franchise, and I'm saying that because it's not as frequent, doesn't move as much. And then like third tier is like your Mario Tennis, maybe Mario Golf, Mario Party, Wii Party, filler basically. And it's I'm sorry, I don't sorry, I'm looking at this right now. It was Brett, it was Alan, it was
And they
Isaac.
were all excited about it, eh?
No, there wasn't a lot of excitement.
Oh, okay.
No, Alan made the statement. He's like, it's more like a third or fourth tier. So you know,
I think the original Mario Party was amazing.
the Mario
Like
Party,
the initial,
yeah.
or not Mario Party, sorry, Mario Tennis. Right, there have been some really great Mario Tennis games previously. However, I just don't see it in this new one.
And here's the issue and I guess here's the big thing I have about it. This may be an awesome Mario Tennis game. It may, absolutely, no doubt about it, and it will sell and people buy some of it. That's cool. I get that. But when you look at where you've positioned it, and you know, if this was in January, I probably wouldn't be as concerned about it. But when you position this as like your Black Friday game, that's hard. Like, this is not the game. This is not the big hitter that you want to be putting at that plate. Yeah. So
especially since it's going to be going up against, or I guess alongside Animal Crossing Amiibo Festival, which is kind of arguably the same demographic, really, right? I mean, you've got basically another Mario Party and Mario Tennis, right? So both of those are kind of, I mean, similar demographic that it's aimed towards. So I don't know. I think you're right. It's a little bit weird. And yet another. Wasn't there actually something said this year that like, oh, we're not actually going to have, other than Mario Maker, we're not actually releasing another Mario game this year? Was that this year or was that last year that they said that?
That was this year.
I don't remember.
that was this year. They were talking about like, don't expect a Super Mario World.
And now look at their freaking holiday lineup. It's
what lineup?
Super Mario Maker,
Zach.
it's Mario Tennis, Animal Crossing, and Xenoblade.
Zach, they also told us we'd be getting Star Fox. So let's just
and Zelda.
So you know.
I'm just saying. I know it's been a hard time at Nintendo, and they've had a lot of stuff going on, and they have commitment issues. I think
we keep ribbing them this way. We're not going to be getting any press releases anymore.
You know what? This is all love. This is all loving.
This is commentary of fans who genuinely are worried.
Yes,
Yeah,
but I mean, having said
this
that,
is what separates the fanboys, as in air quotes, if you can't see it, and like people like us is, you know, we love Nintendo, but we are also their first critics when things go wrong. They do nothing wrong. Hell, Nintendo.
Having said that, I think that Mario Tennis Ultra Smash was never created to be a big holiday title.
No.
Right? Like, that was never in its none of the games really.
Wasn't that initially going to be
a tentpole?
Wasn't that initially going to be a quarter-1 launch?
Yeah. No, it was slated holiday. It's always been slated as holiday. But I mean, having said that, it none of these games was, you know, when they were looking at their holiday lineups, their big year-end tentpole games, none of the games that are actually going to be coming out at this time, you know, in November, the end of November, beginning of December, none of those were ever planned to be a big tentpole. And so none of them are going to live up to it either. And so I almost feel like Mario Tennis is kind of going to have that issue going into it. You know, that it's going to be disappointing because it's not Zelda and it's not Star Fox.
Video game guru in the chat says, I love Mario Power Tennis.
Good. Excellent.
Someone's got to.
Someone's got to.
I'm happy you're happy. And I mean, I don't want to be too dismissive and crap all over the name of Mario Tennis, because it is actually a really fun game. I've played a lot of the GameCube version, and stuff like that, and so it is a really fun game. It's just not, people aren't going to flock to the Wii U for that, and I don't even necessarily think that the people who own Wii U's really want Mario Tennis that much.
Now, if we take let's take a an unbiased step back and think about it.
No, what?
Justin, you shut your mouth.
What do you think we are, journalists?
I do imagine that like Mario Tennis, especially I think from like a parenting perspective, would probably be a good like family fun play game, right? That you could come together. And I think of like when we used to play, the Wii U's tennis, right? That was a lot of fun as well. So imagine there's a lot of fun that can be had with this game, and I imagine for some families it's a great entry game, and it's going to move some units. The graphics do look beautiful though; like it looks very clean and fresh. I'd love to actually see, maybe not just Mario characters, but maybe Nintendo characters coming in play. So maybe Zelda could come in, or Link could come in, or the Animal Crossing villager, kind of circa the Mario Kart 8 stuff, right? So maybe there's some levels. Maybe they throw like amiibo support where you can bring in those characters in. Like all of a sudden, Mega Man is playing, tennis. That would kind of be cool.
How sad is it? How sad is it that immediately, as soon as you start talking about even if it's exactly the same, it's like even if it's just Mii costumes for your Mii in Mario Tennis, how sad is it that I'm immediately like way more interested?
So would this be Mario Tennis Smash?
This is called the sunk cost in economics, where I've already spent so much money on this. What's another $60 to buy this game and get more out of what I've already spent?
You should probably save that money for the Animal Crossing amiibos.
Oh, yeah. Speaking of which,
the cards.
Japan, I think, just actually released a new announcement.
Yeah, that's what I had put into the notes just now. So
we'll
in addition to the amiibo that are already announced, they've basically announced I guess this would be wave 2 of the Animal Crossing stuff.
Yeah.
The game is scheduled to debut. Wait a minute. What? Okay, let me just read this real quick. Okay, so the game is scheduled to debut on November 21st, and the second wave is scheduled to debut in Japan and on December 17th. And there are 4 characters in this one. There's Mr. Rossetti. There is Blathers the owl. He's like the owl in Animal Crossing who like mans the museum.
Who?
Blathers the owl.
Yeah,
who?
Oh, shut up. Boo.
Hashtag dad jokes.
That's terrible. Celeste the red owl, like the girl owl. I can't actually remember what she does in Animal Crossing. And then Kix the skunk, who is like the shopkeeper for shoes in New Leaf. So anyway, 4 more Animal Crossing ones. Actually, I'm not gonna lie. There's really only there aren't that many Animal Crossing ones that I'm that interested in getting. Blathers, for some reason, this owl is one that I've always kind of thought was hilarious in the game. Tom Nook is obviously one. And then Mr. Rossetti, I think, is kind of ridiculous too. So
you're already like 3 or 4 in.
I know, right?
So you may as well commit.
I don't really want. I don't know. And then I mean, really, we'll have to get Amiibo Crossing because I think that'll be a fun game to play with my kids. And I'll probably, if I'm buying that, I might as well buy the bundle, which has 2 more Amiibo in it. And then, I mean, at that point, really, there's only like a handful left. So I might as well get the whole set.
So I thought I had read somewhere originally.
Zach's already all in, and these aren't even released yet.
Yeah. I think I had read somewhere originally about the Amiibo Crossing. Was that they were originally thinking about putting the game out as free. The actual the game free. Mm-hmm. The only way you could play it was you had to purchase Amiibos.
That's interesting. I don't know if that necessarily. Again,
I don't think that panned out.
I don't think that. I think maybe there was speculation. I definitely heard speculation at E3 that was something they could do. I don't think I ever heard anything from Nintendo or rumors that had come from Nintendo.
I forget what it was called, but that NES demo rack game where you put an amiibo in and you get a random game.
Yeah,
that might have been a test bed for that. And
you mean Amiibo Tap? You know what I've heard about Amiibo Tap?
It's like a box of chocolates.
Oh boy!
You never know what you are going to get.
Well played, Zach. Well played.
That's what that was from, right? That's what reminded me. So
exactly. But yeah, even I must have bought 6-8 amiibo since that's come out. I haven't used it since. So.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's the thing, right? Like that thing is so I still have it on mine, and I have so many amiibo that I would need to register for that. And the thing is that even if I were to register my amiibo on there, okay, whatever. Like that, I don't really have any reason to do it. So, but yeah, those are coming out in Japan in December 17th, and I'm guessing Wave 1 comes out the same time as Amiibo Festival, which comes out on November 21st. So, and that's in Japan. There's no official announcements for North America. My guess is that what day is Xenoblade Chronicles X coming out? Is it like December 4th or something?
December 4-ish?
Yeah, I'm guessing that it's going to launch the same day as Amiibo Festival. So that would be my guess. Right, there's kind of like the pre-Black Friday, and then there's like, what was it? Captain Toad last year came out.
Captain Toad held that spot last year.
About a couple weeks later, so that's my guess. Which is launching a new amiibo line, 3 weeks before Christmas is irresponsible. But I mean, whatever.
For you.
So, anyways,
it's bank to them.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, next up on our notes here, Mario Maker has sold 1 million copies worldwide, which, I mean, it's pretty impressive that it seems like every big title that Nintendo has released lately, Splatoon, Smash Brothers, and admittedly, this is about every 6 months, 3 to 6 months, we see Nintendo launching a game and it hitting 1 million copies fairly quickly. So, which, yeah, I mean, it's not surprising to me, but it's also good news, right? So
yeah, I mean, I think again, this is a great example that and I after we started seeing Mario Maker and lineups for people getting the game and just the hype that there was on like day one when we saw content being created, speaking to our good friend Marty from Reactor Radio last week, he tells a story about how the Thursday beforehand he didn't do the download like you guys did. He actually went down to Walmart at like midnight and asked them to go in the back and find a copy of the game. That they didn't even have in their systems yet, and they were nice enough to put it in there, and then he went home, played for like 5 hours and made levels.
Right.
This is a great example of a game that, and we see how many, Jesse, you can talk about how many levels we've got in a spreadsheet right now that we've got to try. This is a game that's caught fire, and we're only 2.5 weeks into it, and it continues to. This should not be a shock, and the fact that of the million levels that, my apologies, million copies, that's digital, that's physical. There has been 2.2 million levels created now. Whoa. So on average, we have like 2 levels per person going up at least. That's only 2.5 weeks into this thing, right? Can you like think about that? Come Christmas time, the results are there are 10 million levels for you to play.
That's almost is that a problem?
It depends on how many of them are trollish crap.
Well, I mean, there is that, right?
Well, I mean, like, it's obviously engagement. People are loving to do it. I mean, the thing is that I have probably 5 or 6 levels uploaded, and every time I log into that game, it's giving me notifications that, hey, somebody else played your level, somebody else, stuff like that. Although usually it's like, 1 person played this level, 2 people played this level, and my guess is that my levels are just coming up when people are playing like the 100 Mario Challenge or something. But
I mean, I'm going through Twitter feed like for our stuff, the people that we follow, and within about 10 tweets, there are 3 codes for ones. I'm seeing a picture of one right now, and it says it's a Mega Man 2 stage level, and they've actually made the face of Mega Man.
What?
Out of the work. So and I mean, again, this is just 2.5 weeks into it.
That's incredible, dude.
Well, there's still a learning curve of what we're doing, right? I mean. You think of someone like Andre, who had the game, who's had it for 2 months before the rest of us got it, who've been playing these levels, and what he's creating now. So why don't we come back to this conversation in mid-November and talk about the amazing levels that are there? And you got to remember,
right.
if you're a person who's kind of making crappy stuff, or I apologize, this is a pretty clean show. Not really.
Yeah,
good,
watch your mouth, sassy pants.
Not really good levels, like very trolly levels. You
We
will
don't use that crap
I
word
know.
on this show.
you will probably eventually just fall off. But the good content creators who are making amazing levels, they will come to the top. And
Yes,
they will
for sure.
continue to. And so come middle of November, you're gonna have just amazing levels. Like I'm so excited. And the levels that we've been getting, and Jess, you can talk about this in a couple minutes, I'm sure, but we've been getting amazing levels from our audience and our community. It's just it's unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Yeah. Right now I have
Absolutely.
30 levels in our spreadsheet, and so far I've only gotten through 6 of them.
Yeah, you gotta
What-
find more
what-
time.
And
Who let you go watch a movie? You've got work to do.
one of those levels I couldn't beat. After spending a half an hour on it, I had to throw in the white flag.
Nice.
I think that video goes out Friday, Thursday or Friday. Wow.
Yeah, Jesse's been doing all sorts of awesome videos. So if you're not subscribed to us on YouTube, everybody head over to youtube.com/c/Nintendo Dads and subscribe over there because Jesse's uploading all sorts of Mario Maker videos. Yeah, we've also got some unboxings. We'll talk about in a minute here. Amiibo cards, and I'm gonna put up the video that my son and I did of the retro 3-pack of Amiibo. We'll talk about in a minute.
The Runbow interviews out there.
The Runbow interviews up there that we're gonna have after the show as well. Yeah, so I mean, tons of great stuff on the website or on the YouTube channel. So subscribe, people. Anything else about Mario Maker? I think we'll probably talk about it a little bit more maybe later.
It's a game that we're going to continue to be talking about. I mean, we talked about Splatoon for almost an entire 3 months. We're going to still be talking about this one.
Although I mean, the thing is that like looking into the future, we've got Animal Crossing now. We've got Chibi Robo that's coming up in a couple of weeks here. We've got Zelda, and then a bunch of stuff
Heroes.
coming on Wii U in Triforce Heroes. Sorry. Yeah, no, not Zelda Wii U.
Someone was like, "What?"
And then and then Amiibo Crossing, Xenoblade, which is anybody here planning on playing Xenoblade?
I want to. I really do.
You really do?
I really
Okay.
do actually want to play it, but I just don't have that time, and that's the sucky part. I think it looks like a really cool game.
Yeah,
Maybe this is something we need to talk about off air. But what if they send us a code for that?
We're gonna have some
Then
rock.
we have to play it, right?
We're gonna play some rock paper scissors.
yeah. If I was able to get through the 3DS Xenoblade, then I'm like, oh sure, I'm buying that day one. Yeah, but I couldn't get 2 hours in.
I couldn't get very far either. Anyway, that's something that we will.
That's a production meeting offline.
The podcaster's burden is what that is. Okay. Next up is finally we've got. Oh wow, my voice cracked there. Did you hear that?
Ladies and gentlemen, on the show, you just heard Zach go through puberty all in one line.
Woohoo!
That's a dad conversation right there.
Yeah.
Why did that man's voice just crack like that, Daddy?
Yeah. So Smash Brothers update came out today, and the Smash ballot is ending on the 3rd, which is what is that? Friday?
Saturday.
Saturday's the last day for the Smash ballot. So if you want to have all 3 Nintendo dads as a single playable character,
Oh,
time to vote.
wow.
Yeah, that'd be amazing.
And
I'd go for that.
We come as a 3-pack.
Yeah. The Nintendo Dad's 3-pack amiibo. So that and the DLC dropped today, which I mean, I called it that we were getting more. I'm not saying that I'm a genius. It was pretty easy to call that one. But we got a bunch more costumes, and we got another stage. Well, really, if you have, rewind. Basically, what happened is the Super Mario Maker stage is now out for both the Wii U and 3DS versions of Smash Brothers. On the Wii U only, we got the pirate ship, which is based on Wind Waker. It was in Super Smash Brothers Brawl, and that is available only on the Wii U. And then also, if you have the 3DS version, as part of the update, you got for free the Duck Hunt stage from the Wii U version is now on the 3DS version. So, so those are the 3 stages, as well as a bunch of Mii Fighter costumes and stuff like that. So let's as the Smash ballot draws to a close, gentlemen, any last picks for this that we think is going to come out? If you had to pick, let's say first of all, two questions. How many Smash Ballot characters do we think are going to be playable in the game? And give me your top 2 that will be playable. I know we've kind of done this before, but yeah, I mean, it seems appropriate to talk about it again. So Jesse, what do you think? How many are we going to see, and then what are your top 1 or 2?
Are we already presuming that Shovel Knight's going to be in, and should you just kind of skip it?
We make no assumptions.
Okay.
I make no assumptions on that.
All right, my guess is they're probably going to get 3 new characters in from this, and I would guess Shovel Knight is going to be a definite, and then I would like to see Shantae in there as well. I think I said that in the show before, but that hasn't changed.
Okay.
So
and you think 3 total?
I think they'll do 3 total.
Cool. What about you, Justin?
Yeah, I think out of the ballot we're gonna get 3. Now I want to make sure that everyone understands we're not getting 3 at one time, but
No.
throughout the life cycle we're gonna get 3. I think one of them will be Shovel Knight. I do think that for sure. I think the other one will be Wolf. And I know
Okay.
and I know that our good friend Rogers Base would love to hear that bring back Wolf, but I think Wolf will be in there. Those are the 2 that really stand out for me. I think the other ones could be.
I think you're missing one, but
Who am I missing?
the Inklings.
Oh yeah.
I definitely think we're going to see Inklings from Splatoon, and I think 3 sounds about right. Right? Like it seems like we chose more that the fans wanted. We gave the fans what they wanted, and then go from there. But I definitely do. I agree. Although my only reservation with Shovel Knight is how big of a game is that over in Japan? And is it a big enough game to draw the attention of the Japanese developers? That I'm not sure of. Although having said that, I don't necessarily know if it matters because Nintendo has approved an amiibo of him. So obviously it is something.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. It would be interesting too, is that if he does go into Smash Brothers, there will be 2 different Shovel Knight amiibo. One that is right,
That's
because
point.
he would have to have his own Smash Brothers amiibo as well.
Unless the way they get around it was just giving him a fighter costume.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's another possibility.
Because
for sure.
the fighter costumes don't have statues associated with them.
Yeah.
Right. Like we saw, and one of the things we should talk about in this round that just came out for this DLC, we saw new fighter collections costumes. We saw the Toad hat. We saw the Varianta wig. Viridi wig, Hunter's helm, Rathalos helm, Fox hat, Captain Falco helmet, a business suit, Toad outfit, again the Viridi outfit, Hunter's mail.
Yeah, so basically the Hunter's
mail, Fox outfit again, and Falco's outfit.
Yeah, so Falcon, yeah, Captain Falcon.
Yep.
Yeah, so I actually did buy the Viridi outfit because I'm just a huge fan of Kid Icarus Uprising, and so I bought that when I bought the 2 stages. So that's basically all I bought from that.
Just as an FYI for that character, Zach, if you go to the SmashBrothers.com website, they have a QRC code to get the Mii.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I did actually kind of make my own Mii based on that, but that's interesting.
I'll send it to you because I'm a nice guy.
Oh, thanks, man. I
You're welcome.
appreciate that.
That's how we roll here.
Oh, you're so nice. So yeah, that's the Smash Brothers update. I kind of was looking at all of the content at once. It seems like we get content for that game about every 2 months. 1.5 to 2 months. So I suspect that we're going to see Smash ballot results in about a month, with the launch time as Black Friday. That's going to be my guess.
That's interesting. I don't know about that one.
You don't think so? You don't think we're going to see Smash ballot info?
Well, I guess in theory they probably got a lot of information really early on that could have helped decide where they're going to send their efforts and their work, and I guess at that point they probably could have reached out to like third parties and start asking about rights. So possibly, I guess. I mean, it all depends on how far along the production method they were. Like, were they waiting all the way till like October 3rd, guys, we're closing a ballot, and then we start October 4th the entire process, or is it like no, we've done 60% of the work, now it's the other 40%.
Yeah.
It all depends on their, and this isn't trying to be a cut, but It all depends on their work methodology and their intake and what they decided to do.
Yeah, I kind of had the sense that they probably knew ahead of time that Splatoon was going to be, if Splatoon ends up being one, I suspect that they were working on it before the game came out, or around the time the game came out. I think that was a pretty obvious thing. And the fact that we have not seen Splatoon at all in Smash Brothers other than that costume, like I said before, there is no Splatoon map, or there is no Splatoon stage in Smash Brothers, and that is a very curious absence considering they were very quick to get that Super Mario Maker stage into the game. So yeah. Anyway, anything else in the news before we head into what we've been playing, guys?
I think that's it.
All right. All right. So, what we are talking about first, Justin and I both have been playing Animal Crossing Happy Home Designer. And Justin, I was actually a little bit surprised. Yeah, you and I were surprised. Nintendo reached out to us and hooked us up with a review code, which was very nice of them.
Mm-hmm.
And so both of us are playing it, and that's super exciting. So I'm really interested to hear. You don't have any experience with Animal Crossing.
I have zero. I am walking into this like I don't know who these. Like you're excited with these amiibo. I don't know who these people are. I've seen them obviously in Mario Kart 8, but that's kind of about it. I got nothing for you.
Well, and we even had a conversation with somebody on Twitter this week. I had a conversation with them basically asking, is this a good game for me to pick up for my girls, or like should I start with New Leaf? And my initial impressions of this game are that if you have not played Animal Crossing New Leaf yet, and you're looking for an Animal Crossing game, but you think maybe I should go with Happy Home Designer because it's the new thing, or or whatever, I would definitely still suggest that New Leaf is better for a wider range of an audience. It seems to appeal to. For one thing, there's way more to do in Animal Crossing New Leaf than there is to do in Happy Home Designer. But having said that, Happy Home Designer is very focused on one aspect of Animal Crossing, which is, of course, the home decorating and design and things like that. And you get all of the furniture in like a single theme. You basically, anytime you go into a new house with a new character, you get a whole new theme, right? If you tap that magnifying glass button or whatever, and then it'll show you all the new stuff for this particular character, right? Yeah. Which some of that stuff in the original Animal Crossing games is actually super rare, and it takes a long time to get. Like some of them, if for example somebody wants you to do like a Halloween themed house, some of that furniture is only available on Halloween. Right? Like if you don't log into Animal Crossing on Halloween that in New Leaf, then you can't get that furniture for a year. Yeah. Unless you go and change the system settings and whatever, right? But yeah, but I mean there's a lot more to do in New Leaf than there is to do in Happy Home Designer. Having said that though, I still feel it's pretty fun. How are you liking it so far?
Yeah, I mean, first I want to give credit to the individual who was speaking to us about buying it for their child was Eli. So thank you, Eli. How do I like it so far? So this was my first forte into the Animal Crossing world. Here's the thing that you have to first realize, and I mean, let's back this bus up. I am a 34-year-old male. This game was not designed for me. Happy Home Designer was not designed or built for me. However, in that being said, there are things about it I can greatly appreciate. And I think as a parent, there are things I even more appreciate for. And I'm going to talk about kind of just my impressions of it, and then how I want to approach it with my children. Because I haven't had a chance to play it with the girls yet first, because we've been a crazy week. But I do want to talk about how I want to use it as a parenting tool in some ways. The graphics are really cool. It's very friendly. It's very soothing. It's very relaxing. I've talked about before playing games in between time, right? Like, I mean, I've got 10 minutes to spare here, and that's coming, especially on the 3DS, that's kind of becoming my resolve for how I play games, is this gaming between time. this is a great gaming between time game that you can, you log in, you go to your business, you're told where you need to go, excuse me, but meet your customer, your client. They tell you what they want. You go in, you take 10 to 15 minutes or 10 minutes to kind of build the exterior, the interior, decorate as they want, make sure they're happy, and then you're kind of done. And there's this level or there's this feeling of like completionism of like, I did that thing today. I feel good.
That looks pretty good.
Yeah,
and there's
like,
always
right.
the same, I mean, a lot of the reviews that I saw were saying, oh, well, they never care. Like if you don't actually do what they want you to do, then they don't care and stuff like that. But there's this funny little montage that happens anytime you finish, and it's always the same music, and it'll kind of go through the music one loop for the inside of the house and then one for the outside of the house or whatever. Or if you do it for one of the public works in town, then it'll do like room by room, right?
Yeah.
And
it lets you take photos of those things.
It lets you take photos. And I almost feel like as I'm designing levels now, I'm like, oh, you know what though? I really need to put something in here that he's going to interact with during that montage, so I can get a really funny picture.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
I mean?
So there, I mean, it is not. This is not going to be a game that's going to make you philosophically think about your life.
Oh,
right?
totally not. No.
But it is a good game to kind of like just unwind and relax from. Like I'm sitting here kind of watching TV with relaxing, and I can play this at the exact same time. Although I would say, ironically, like, listen, Tom Nook, I already work 40 hours a week. I don't need to work for you too, and you give me attitude that you're not in the office. All right, buddy?
And he goes out freaking golfing.
Yeah, I've got enough. I got enough stress in my life. I don't need you not busting me down for this stuff. But here's what I do love. So there are a lot of things I really like about it. It's friendly. It's easily accessible. So I gave it very briefly to my oldest daughter, Rylan, who's 7 years old, and said, hey, take a couple moments to kind of give this a go. And she very quickly was able to grab the stylus, touch the screen, and began to figure out. It is a very clean and simple interface, although there's a lot of information on those interfaces, i.e. when you go into the house, here is 5 different sections of things that you need to look at or select from. But it's very easy to scroll through and grab it.
And like nested, like for kids, like those nested menus,
Yeah.
I think are a little bit. I find that my son, we figured out that if you scan the villager amiibo, then it gives you like this gold statue of the villager that you can put in your house. And he was like, Dad, I can't find the villager amiibo or the villager statue. Where is it? And like it's those weird things where it's like, okay, well you tap on the little leaf, and then under the leaf you tap on the leaf again, and then it's in that part, right? Like it is nested there, and it's a little confusing to get around for kids.
Yeah. But I mean, like, when you're putting in furniture, moving it around, it's very easy map in that way. So I think, and I think especially when it can take you maybe 15 to 20 minutes to design what they want, like if you really spend the time and care. This to me feels like a really good reward system for kids. So sometimes we have challenges with the kids aren't listening, or they've done something. So hey, if you do your homework, you can go build one of the houses for someone in Animal Crossing. That feels like a really good reward system there for them.
And it's actually, and it feels it's nice because it's not what's the word I'm looking, like it's a fairly decent time, like it's long enough for it to be rewarding.
Yeah.
But not too short either.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly.
Like,
it feels like there's some meat to
and
that.
not too long, not too short. Like it's perfect. Yep. It's like 10, 15 minutes.
The other thing I like about it is, and this kind of goes to your point, Zach, like I can be sitting there with Rylan or Morgan. If they have difficulty with it, I can just say, okay, can I just take a look at it? And it will take me probably less than 3 seconds to figure out what's going on. Right? It's not like, okay, I'm sorry, what is your objective in this level? What are you doing exactly? Where are your, it's, okay, here's a room and I just can't move this thing. So I actually really like it for that aspect. I find myself like every day I want to play it and I want to build a little house and I feel a little bit of completionism, and then I'm like, okay, well, I'm, they say like, well, do you want to finish work for the day? And I'm like, yes, I do.
Have you started getting that? Have you unlocked the manual yet? Where you use your play coins?
Yes, I have. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I've unlocked that, and I'm actually building some of the public. And that's the first. I mean, that is the thing. The first couple times you play it, like you're just doing the interior of houses, and you're like, oh dear Lord, if this is all it is, we got issues, right? But then the story actually does expand, where you have to assist with city public works and building exterior and interior houses, or sorry, schools and cafes and this kind of stuff, and that becomes a little bit interesting as well. So. I think it's actually fun. I think kids will love it. And I mean, we haven't talked about the amiibo cards yet. I don't know if you want to talk about that now, Zach.
Yeah, I
As
also want to
Jesse is
talk.
probably sleeping over there in the corner. He's like,
Huh? What?
I also want to talk. I also want to talk real quickly about the. Before we talk about the amiibo cards, I want to talk about the online stuff. I don't know if you've used much of that yet. But
very briefly.
yeah, so basically, there's like a little computer in the office that you can go to, and it will allow you to, you can upload all of your levels to, or any particular house to, online. And the nice thing about that is that a specific character always has the same theme, right? So, for example, the one that's sticking in my mind for some reason is Sterling the night bird, right?
Who is awesome.
Who's amazing. He always wants some sort of a space themed house.
Yeah,
And
that's
so,
cool.
right? And so, like, you can actually go and search by character online to see, okay, well, what did other people do with this house? Or how did people do their school, or things like that. I was looking at all the schools the other day, and I walk into the school, and the front hallway is completely like, they have like the sound effects that you can get in there, and it's like this weird echo chamber, and it's this totally like dilapidated school with like weird blood splatter on the wall because you can do like custom designs and stuff. And it's just like this, it looks like something out of The Walking Dead. And I was just like, this is amazing. This is the best thing I've ever seen. And it was just like this totally run down, like abandoned school. It was hilarious. But anyway, so you can definitely look online. I know that that's kind of morbid for what this game is, but there's a lot of really funny stuff online, and also just really cool looking places. Like, you can actually do quite a bit with what's given. I unlocked the other day, just recently, I did the restaurant. It's different from the cafe, but I made like this full like Chinese food restaurant with like a buffet and like all the Oriental sort of decorations and stuff. And I don't know, it's really fun to play that. And like you were saying, it's really relaxing to just kind of sit back and all right, let's make a Chinese food restaurant today. You know what I mean? So it's fun. Amiibo cards, though. Go ahead with that. What were you going to say about those?
Yeah, I thought the amiibo cards were. So we do have an unboxing video of the amiibo cards. Myself and my two daughters opened them up. I bought 2 packets so they could each have one. I thought the amiibo cards were kind of interesting. I like the artwork on them. Very colorful. Obviously, my girls really liked them. They were very colorful, very kind of bright, and you could figure out what the characters were. The amiibo cards, and Zach, maybe I'm wrong. The only thing I can really find the amiibo cards do in this game is when you scan, and you have to kind of unlock the ability to use the amiibo scanner.
Yeah, it took a while to do
it's
that.
Like 3 hours it took.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So at first I'm like, am I doing something wrong? Like I'm tapping the amiibo card on it, it's not doing anything. I was like, oh my god, if my NFC chip is broken, I'm gonna be really mad. But what you do is essentially you can add those people into your town. So you can scan a card. No, you've got Pascal, and do you want to build a house for Pascal? Yes. So as opposed to kind of randomly running into the characters that you may or may not find, it gives you basically the option to say, like, do you want to go work for this person specifically? So that's, Zach, that's kind of how I found the amiibo cards. Is there something else I'm missing?
I think that's the only thing that they do in this game. The special cards, the shiny ones.
Yeah.
Which, like I said before, I had predicted, and it's seeming to be the case, is that those are the ones that are also going to be figures. Those ones I think you can only access by using the cards. And by the way, it seems like all of them just say, yeah, do whatever you want, whatever. They don't actually have a preference.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, be creative.
Yeah, so like I had Tom Nook, and I just made him like this. His bedroom was like a golden bed and a golden, all of his furniture was gold because, it's Tom Nook.
He's a boss.
Yeah, he's a boss. And but that's basically all I can see from it. Although, if you look at the cards, they have like one section of it that's like one side of a 6-sided die and another one that's kind of like either rock, paper, or scissors.
Yeah.
My suspicion is that comes into play in Animal Crossing Amiibo Festival.
Could be.
So,
yeah.
Especially since Amiibo Festival comes with cards as well, right? Mm-hmm. And so those are definitely going to be a part of that game.
Yeah.
So they'll work in both games.
So I
But
thought,
but for this one, it's
yeah, and so I thought overall, like the cards are nice. I said in my unboxing, but I said, like, girls, would you want to collect these cards? And of course they said yes. And I don't
and
know
you're
why.
like, why did I ask
I don't
that?
even know why I asked that question. I was like, that's the dumbest
As you
thing in the
said
world.
that in the video, I was like, why did you ask that? That was a terrible
I
question.
know. Interviewing a 7-year-old is hard, but they are nice cards. I think the quality's decent enough. The price is a little bit high. In Canada, those are $7 for 6.
Yeah.
So that's a little bit the issue I have with it.
They're kind of a buck a card,
Yeah,
more or less.
pretty much. But they are. But the problem is, like, during this weekend, at times after we did the unboxing, I was like, I kind of want to go and buy a couple more bags.
Oh, dude.
And I was like, no, I can't do this.
Don't
Like,
do
I'm
it.
Not, I'm not going down this rabbit hole. I can't.
Don't do
Well,
it.
I mean, basically what I did was like the morning of, I was like, all right, I'm going to go and I'm going to buy 3 packs, and I bought 3 packs. And then later on, I was like in Walmart again, and I was like, I'll go see again. And there was still some left. And I was like, bought 3 more. And I'm like, all right, that's it. Like, that's it. Right. I have enough now. And so like, yeah. So I have, how many do I have now? Whatever, 6 times 36, 6 times 6, right? So that's
So do
the thing
you
is
have
that
any duplicates yet?
I had like 3, and my daughter promptly crumpled one up. So of the doubles at least, so that wasn't too bad. But yeah, so I got 2 of the hairdresser dog Harriet for the special card, and then my son took the card for T-Bone, which is like a bull guy. Yeah. And so, I don't know, it's fun to have those cards. And me and my son actually, just last night before bed, he wanted to play a game with the cards. And I was like, okay. And so we basically played war with like the rock, paper, scissors on the cards, and just like, all right, you win. And then take the cards. And, so you can even, if you have enough, you can actually play some sort of a card game with them too, right?
Yeah.
It's not a very sophisticated card game. It's basically... it's war, basically. Just flip it over and, you get both cards because yours is higher.
How sturdy are these cards? Are we talking?
They're like playing card.
I'd say they're a little
durability.
bit sturdier than playing cards because they have that NFC chip in them, or that reader kind of bars. So it feels like they have a little bit more sturdiness, but not like a.
Right.
I'm not.
But,
I'm
but
not,
it's not like
massive.
so there is some bend in them.
Oh yeah, it's
Okay.
basically card stock.
So it's not. It's not like my badge at work where it lets me I scan in to let me into the office.
No, it's not that.
Oh
huge.
no, not
Okay.
even close. Yeah, it's paper, right? Like it's not plastic.
All
or
right,
anything,
so it's somewhere between that and a bicycle deck of
Yeah, that
cards.
sounds all right.
All
yeah,
right.
just a tiny bit more sturdy than that.
But-
so
But I would say to your point, like, I mean, the amiibo craze for them were kind of high again. I went to a.
Because when I first heard about even back when Miyamoto kind of joked, yeah, we'll put them in cards one day. That's kind of what I imagined is like my work badge. That's kind of what it's an NFC chip and a card, and that's what I.
oh yeah,
that's
it's
what I pictured.
yeah. And apparently that NFC chip is actually considerably smaller in the
yeah.
cards than it is in the figures. So
We're gonna have to do an.
Well,
kind
it
of-
doesn't have to store data.
it's just read. It's read only. I don't think they actually
Right.
store any data. I
Right.
think you're right. Yeah, that's a good point. I actually hadn't thought about that, but I don't even know if you can register them.
Probably not.
Like how you register like an amiibo figure. I don't even know if you can register them. Maybe that's the difference there. I don't know.
You should try it, but I doubt it'll work. And that'll show or prove that they are read only and they don't have read write capabilities.
Yeah, we should try that out. So that's Animal Crossing. Do you have anything else to add, Justin?
I think I think kids will love it, and I think that's if you're
My
thinking.
son loves it.
Yeah, I know my daughters will love it. Like, I just got to sit down with them, and I know that they're gonna definitely just clamor into this one. So that's great.
In chat, VGG says I had Isabel mad at me because I tossed out an item.
Yeah. Well, that is the funny thing is that you have those items that you have to unpack, right? And they're like, oh, make sure to use those. And then if you throw one away, it's just like,
Well, they lose.
deal
their-
with it.
But
They
I
lose their-
wanted that.
It does that weird sort of piano sound, like, what have you done? And then they just like, if you just continue on, it's just like, what are you gonna do? Too bad. And they still love the,
Of course they do.
still love that. You know what? As a studying, future therapist, I feel like they're bottling up their emotions and not being authentic to
There
themselves.
you go.
but that's that's beyond the point there.
Tell us
so.
how you really feel.
Tell me, Isabel, how did it feel when I threw away your ridiculous piano? Yeah, right on. Cool. So, Jesse, what have you been playing this week?
Okay, it's been a while since we had the chance to talk about other games other than Mario Maker. So, I did finish Twilight Princess. I finished it like 2 weeks ago, but I haven't had a chance to talk about it. And I wanted to actually start Skyward Sword, but I couldn't find my gold Wii remote. And I only have one other Wii remote that has Motion Plus inside, and that's currently tied to my Wii U, and I don't want to repurpose it. So until I can find that gold remote, I can't play that game.
Is that the only Wii Remote Plus you have?
I have the attachments, but I don't like using them because it adds weight and it changes the center of balance. I never enjoyed using them. So, but as soon as if that gold remote ever comes out of hiding, then I'll be playing that. I'm still playing through Picross 3D. I am almost done with that. I'm on the hard levels, the hard group, almost done with level 7. So I have like 4 groups left. Then game I picked up on PS4. I first heard about it through a press release last February, and at the time I misunderstood. I thought it was being released, but no, it just said it was coming like next year, and it's been now 18 months. It is called Pure Hold'em. It's a poker game made by the same. I forget the name of the developers, but they've previously made a game called Pure Pool, for like 8-ball, 9-ball type of thing. So this is like PS3 had a poker game where you can go play online and play against real people, and this is like the first poker game for PS4, and it feels like it should have been a free-to-play game, but it still they charged me $20 to buy it, and then they still have, here we'll give you these 2,000 cheap chips, and then if you want more and you can't win more, we'll definitely sell them to you. And the pricing is just ridiculous. You can, for $3 you can get 10,000 chips, or for $6 you can get 1,000,000. Which would you pick? I think I'll pick 2 of the $3 instead. I'm like, why? Why would you even do this?
Yeah, that's crazy. That's called upselling. It's or making it look like it's worth more than it actually is.
And I did go to one online game. And it was fun. I ended up winning it, but found that there's a significant flaw in the rule set they're using when there's only 2 people left in the game. It's a minor rule change. Most people wouldn't even notice it, but as a poker player, I noticed it big time. And as a poker host, I would get fired if I played the game like they played it. So yeah, my first thought is, why don't they have poker players playtest this thing? That would have been found out really quick. I've tried tried playing multiplayer games since then. Most people aren't in the tournaments; they're in the open games, which is kind of like their equivalent to a cash game. You use the same chips, but if you lose your chips, you can just buy back in out of your chip pool versus just being out. And I prefer the tournament setting instead of the cash game setting, so it's not really as fun for me. So ultimately, I think that's I regret buying it. I think I mentioned it a few weeks ago. There was this indie game that was actually releasing a game on an NES cart. I don't remember.
Oh yeah, right.
I got that in. I haven't had a chance to play it yet. I hope to play it sometime this week if I can talk about it later.
Cool.
And presuming it'll work on the Retron I have. And then I also put in I pre-ordered 2 games on PS4 that's coming out in October. That Transformers game from Platinum.
Oh, dude, that game looks so good. I'm so sad that's not coming to Wii U.
I know. I would have bought it on the Wii U for sure if it was coming out there. And the other game is Dragon Quest Heroes, which looks like a Dynasty Warriors ish game.
I thought you were gonna say Star Wars Battlefront.
No, I'm not interested
No?
in that at all. No,
Oh, see, I wanted to live vicariously through you.
not interested in that at all.
That game actually looks like it looks fun.
So yeah,
Anyway.
this Dragon Quest game is like Dynasty Warriors. It'll be like Hyrule Warriors, but with Dragon Quest.
Really?
With Dragon Quest characters.
Oh,
So-
that's cool.
So when I heard about that, I was actually it lowered me down to on the fence instead of I need this, because I'm thinking it's been almost a year and I'm not sure I'm ready to play another one like that yet. But
Mhm.
I pulled the trigger, so I've already
Nice.
paid for it. I'm just waiting for it to be released so I can download it.
I actually
So-
am really excited for the 3DS version of Hyrule Warriors. Like, I did play it on Wii U, but I feel like I'll play it a lot more again when it comes out on 3DS.
Yeah, I'm not gonna. I didn't
No?
I didn't like it that much. Yeah, I liked it enough to finish the storyline, but I really didn't do any of the extra content. So I'm
I
gonna,
didn't
I'm,
either,
I'm gonna
but still.
pass on the 3DS.
Cool. Right on, man.
So I'll be
also-
talking about those and then Triforce Heroes when that comes out in 3 weeks.
Oh, that's only 3 weeks away, hey?
Yep.
Oh, that's exciting. Right on. So next up, I guess me and you, Jesse, might as well just talk about this for a minute. The Retro 3-pack, Amiibo 3-pack came out. My just general impressions is, just continue to be impressed by Nintendo's build for these. It comes with Duck Hunt, which is obviously the shining star of the set, I think, for sure. It's just a great one. And, as far as, because the duck is suspended in the air, you would think that it would look really tacky to have this thing in the back there, but it actually doesn't really look that bad at all. I think it looks pretty okay. And then Rob and Game & Watch, which comes with 4 different poses but only 1 base. So I'm a little bit torn about that. I don't really know what to do with the other 3 poses. While I actually kind of prefer to just put the original one on there because that's the trophy that's in the game. So that's the one that I like to have on there.
It's funny that you say that, because I am doing something about it, and it's costing me a little bit more than I expected. But it started off with I said in Twitter, Nintendo, you should sell spare bases. It's fine if they don't have chips in it. Just give me more. I want more bases so I can have all the poses up. And then I was thinking yesterday, that's right, they have 3D printers out now, don't they? So I put a request in Facebook to my friend and Twitter to anyone saying, how do you make a 3D pattern? I've never played with software like that. And Will from VG Tribune actually found a web page that someone did that work already. They had 4 ready to print models. One of which is just a small rectangular base, and that's the simplest one, and then they have the other 3 pieces kind of go together. One is the circular base, and the other 2 are just like an insert that goes inside the base. One of them has the Smash Coin look on top, and the other one is more just a smooth surface on top, with the grooves in place to put the Game & Watch. So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go and pull the trigger on these and go to the UPS store and have them make a set for me. And so I told them I'll take both of the inserts in white. I'll have make 2 bases, one in black, one in blue, or one in red, and then that small little mini base in blue. So at the end of this, I will have 3 extra bases, and then I will plan on making taking pictures and putting it on my Facebook and talking about it. And Will said if they don't cost too much to print, that he'd want me to make another set for him, and he'll pay me for them. But ultimately, to make 3 additional bases, it cost me about $70.
Whoa!
Because they charge, I think their base price is like in the $30 per cubic inch of the resin used.
Oh yeah.
But the more I use, the less per cubic
Right.
inch it costs. So they're charging me $28 per cubic inch. So I'm thinking now, if they would just have sold the Game & Watch by itself, I could have just bought 3 extra ones, and it would have been cheaper.
Yeah. Yeah, it totally would have been. That's super. You could have imported them though, is the thing. You could have bought 3 from like the UK.
Probably would have still ended up being $70 then with the ship.
Yeah, with the import shipping.
But at
Yeah.
least I get different colors.
Yeah, hey, that's cool.
So
Right on, man. Well, I'm looking forward to seeing what that comes up with.
I should be picking him up tomorrow morning, and I'll be able to show him off.
Right on. Cool. Well, I just want to very quickly, talk about the Shovel Knight Plague of Shadows DLC. All 3 of us own Shovel Knight, right? Have either of you guys played this DLC yet?
I have not. No.
Oh, Justin,
I almost feel like I have to get on my 3DS to play it.
I feel like, yeah, you know what? It's because you own it on the Wii U, right?
Correct. Yeah.
I almost feel like it's, again, I haven't played it on the Wii U, but I feel like I love the 3D effect so much that I feel like that's the definitive version, even though it's missing certain modes, but which is kind of not what definitive version means, but I stand by what I said.
It's the Zach version.
Yeah, so I just the other day finished the main campaign, finished the end boss for the Plague Knight DLC, and man, I just have to say that I love this game. Like, I continue to be completely enamored by the world that Yacht Club Games has created with Shovel Knight, and all of the different characters there. I feel like in this particular game, or in the DLC, you actually get more of a good look at what, of like each individual sort of interaction, or all of the different knights, because basically in the original Shovel Knight, you kind of had this interaction between Shovel Knight the hero and then each of these different knights, right? And you kind of got to know who they were. But as you kind of approach each boss as Plague Knight, it's a lot more interesting because it's almost like this this sort of backstage almost sort of discussion that they'll have between each other, where they're kind of insulting each other back and forth, and it's just really interesting. And what they have done with the character of Plague Knight and kind of his arc throughout the campaign, it's not a very complicated campaign or a very complicated story, but it's also it very effectively makes Plague Knight a really what's the word I'm looking for? Like a very sympathetic character that you really relate to, and really just kind of enjoy watching his arc in general. I think it's pretty, it's nothing groundbreaking or whatever, but it's still kind of a sentimental sort of story, similar to what Shovel Knight was, but in a whole new kind of way at the same time. So I really, really like the Plague Knight DLC for Shovel Knight, and I just barely started doing the challenge modes, and holy cow, that is definitely a difficult set. I've beaten one of the Shovel Knight ones, and that's it. So it's really fun. So I definitely suggest that you guys try that out, because I would be interested to hear what you have to say about it. So anything else, guys, before we move into the before what we like to call the Nintendo question of the week? Oh, you know what? Hang on. Anything, guys?
No.
Okay, this is me stalling. Hang on. Wait for it. Hang on. This is not going to be fixed in post.
Sweet.
But it is going to be here, right? I hope you're ready, Justin, for what we like to call the question of the week, and I hope you're ready for that ad. Wow, this is so embarrassing. I can't even skip the friggin' ad. Okay.
I thought you would have ripped this audio by now.
Right about now.
All right, welcome to the Nintendo Question of the Week. This one is focused on parenting. Parenting Question of the Week. We obviously know you like to play video games with your kids. What other activities do you enjoy doing with them? Just name one.
Jesse, do you want to go first?
I'd have to think about this. I don't have an immediate answer.
Okay, I've got one then. I really like to, specifically with my son, I really like to draw with my son. We like to just sit down with just like a blank piece of paper and some crayons or whatever, and me and my son like to make up superheroes. And so sometimes, usually he's the one who is like, all right, Dad, draw this particular thing or whatever. So I'll draw like a human crocodile that's on fire or something like that. And I don't know. I just like to encourage creativity in my kids, and so, you know, anything like drawing or stuff like that, I really like to encourage my kids to do that. And I also just like to act myself, and so I just like to sit down and do it with them. So, what about you, Justin?
I really enjoy playing board games with my daughters. They have really gotten into playing games like Kings of Tokyo and Exploding Kittens.
I played Exploding Kittens the other day, by the way.
Yeah, it's pretty
with
good.
a bunch of the people from my program at school.
Yeah.
We played the NSFW version.
Oh yeah, maybe not.
But I mean, the same basic, the same mechanics apply, right? But
yeah,
that's a fun game, man. I
It
love
is.
that game.
So we have the clean version, by the way, for the kids. But we really enjoy playing that, and I really enjoy going camping with my kids. I love going camping and hiking with them.
Nice. How about you, Jesse?
All right. Well, lately I've been spending most of my time with them just playing Dad Taxi. Yeah, I need to go here.
Is that
I
kind of
need
like
to go
Crazy
here.
Taxi?
It depends on the day of the week and the time, but yes. But I would say going bowling with them, because
Oh, nice. That's a good one.
my two oldest. Well, I'm not. I used to be able to beat them all the time. My two oldest are on the bowling team at their school, and now they can smoke me. Yeah, and in fact, last few times I tried bowling, and it ended up hurting my leg, so I don't even bowl. Last few times, yeah, I'm just there to watch them and cheer them on, and they just go at it. But but when we started, but I think my daughter's freshman year, her average was like 100, 110s, and when we went last, about 2 or 3 weeks ago, right out of the gate, she bowled a 144 and then a 142. I'm like, that's awesome.
That's super cool. Right on, man. I love me some bowling. I think my kids, I don't know if I'd take my kids bowling quite yet, but I'm looking forward to the day when we can take them bowling for sure. So
Yeah, we did a lot of bowling this summer actually with the kids too.
nice.
It's a pastime for them.
Yeah, there's a deal that we have in our area, or the website that goes national. I'm not sure if it actually goes up Canada. It's called kidsbowlfree.com or something like that. Okay, so they do have it up there. So we've been doing that for the last two or three summers. So the way that works is for all your kids can literally get 2 games of bowling for free per day. You can sign up for adults for a $25 flat fee for the summer for up to like 2 or 3 adults on it, so they can get 2 games for free after that. And we've been doing that every summer, except for this last summer we didn't, because the only bowling alley that does it in our area had a fire the last spring.
Oh no.
So they're still rebuilding it, and they're hoping that it can be rebuilt in time for their season, which is starting to look doubtful, because tryouts are supposed to be, I think, are at the top of November. So they only have a month left before tryouts.
Crazy, dude. Right on, dude. All right, well, let's good question, Justin, as always, and I think it is now time to head into the community spotlight. All right. So today, basically, what I wanted to do, for a couple of reasons. One is that I saw the notes and was like, "Oh crap, I didn't fill that in." And also, we had that challenge with Reactor Radio, the Mario Maker Challenge. And Justin, last week you were on Reactor Radio. We talked about him last week. Wanted to give him one final plug here and also announce the winner, which you guys already announced. But yeah. So Justin, what was the final results?
The final results had Nintendo Dad's level that Zach created at like 2.10, so 2.10. And that's a challenge and frustration, a exercise and frustration?
Exercise and frustration.
Exercise and frustration. And the Reactor Radio guys level had a 1.89, I believe it was. So they actually won. Yeah. So I was on their show with them, gave them a big congrats and kudos. We're going to be creating a custom sound file and a bumper for their show that we're going to send. We were so happy to do this project with them. It was awesome. A lot of great community collaboration. We loved it. Big congrats to them. Marty made an incredible level. Check out Reactor Radio. Check out Marty's work. Check out all those guys. They are absolutely fantastic. They were so awesome to have on the show last week, or Marty on this show last week. They were so gracious to have me over there last week. And we're going to be doing more with them, actually. I think we're going to do more with them over the next several. We have a really good relationship. We like what they do. They like what we do. So we're going to hear more from them as well.
Yep, absolutely. And with that, let us move on to some messages from the postman.
Just one.
All right. So I will read this. It is from Johnny P. It says, "Hi, Dads. Thanks for the show and all your hard work. Recently, you mentioned using a 32 gigabyte SD card, and I thought I would share my SD card adventures. I now use a 128 gigabyte micro SD, and I cannot fill it up. I reached the max home menu 3DS items of 300 titles. I am somewhere around 80 gigabytes or so. I had to remove some items to make room and stay below 300. You may want to consider 64 gigs, but you might pass on 128 gigs given the home menu items limitation that I discovered after upgrading to 128 gigabytes. Thanks again. Cheers, Johnny P." So my initial thought on this is, and I wonder, and he didn't clarify this, but I would, my first question is he using folders?
That was my question.
Yeah,
I don't know.
So because I know that if you can only scroll so far right, in the initial or in the home menu, and I'm actually getting pretty close. Like, you know how you can save your themes or whatever, your layout in 3DS. I have one that is just like all of the icons on the home page, and then one of them that's like everything's in a folder. And I sometimes, depending on my mood, switch them back and forth because I'm kind of weird like that. I don't know. But it's actually almost full on my 3DS. But when I put them all in folders, I can actually see them all on one screen still, with like a 4x3 sort of layout with folders and stuff. So that's my initial question is, are you using folders? Because if not, then you should use folders and you can keep more stuff on there. If he is using folders and he's still reaching this 300 limit, that's really weird that they would do that, considering you can get a 128 gigabyte SD card.
Well, I think Nintendo's still official stance is they support up to 32, and anything up after that, if it works, great, you're lucky. If it doesn't work, don't complain to us.
And also, how many of those games are you still playing?
Exactly.
Is my other question. But yeah, especially if you get if you are part of the ambassador program, there's 20 games right there, right? And I do still have all of those saved on my 3DS too.
20 games that I don't play anymore.
Yeah, exactly. But I still like to look at them. I still have the ambassador certificate downloaded on my 3DS.
I think I do too.
Yeah. So that's. If that is the case, though, I would love to hear a follow up from Johnny P about, are you using folders and does that 300 does that 300 limit include things that are in folders, or is it just the layout of the main home screen? I don't know. So that's interesting. Or if anybody else knows about that, let us know. nintendodads@gmail.com. Right on. Anything else, guys, as we kind of wrap up the show here today? We're making some good time.
No, I
Uh,
think we're gonna transition to that other thing right now. Is that right?
Oh, you know what? Yeah, let's.
That we missed, that we skipped above in the notes.
What am I talking about? What?
So Zach and I
Oh,
had an
yeah,
opportunity on Friday to sit down with some of the guys from 13 AM Games, who as the creators of Runbow. And Zach and I, after we finished the interview with them, were just blown away by how awesome and friendly and transparent they were, but just kind of how much information they talked to us about their development of Runbow, what it was like to work with the indies. Kind of maybe what's in the future for Runbow.
Yeah, I was
so there's some
surprised at how
very cool
open they
things
were
going on
about
there. Yeah. So this is really cool, and the thing I really love about this, these guys are Canadian, so that's cool right there. Very easy to talk to. Very funny. We got them at
Sure.
like a back end of a Friday, like their day was wrapping up, so they were pretty relaxed and they're gonna go play some games themselves. But we've had that survey up recently about what you guys want to see more and more of from us. One of the top things that we've heard from the results is you want to hear more interviews from podcasters and community and members of the community, but also from devs and from developers. And this is a really great example of
Devs and developers.
yeah,
Both.
I know, right? Jerk. Jumping out and trying to fill that gap. So I think this is a great interview. Zach did a fantastic job conducting it as well. So hopefully you guys will enjoy this interview that we're going to have queued up for you right away as well.
Absolutely. And of course, I'm gonna play us out and then just stay after the music for the interview, so we can have that as well. So again, thank you everybody for listening. This is episode number 46 of the Nintendo. Holy cow, we were like 4 away from 50. That's crazy. Thank you for listening. If you want to follow us on social media, you can follow us at all of them. That is Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Well, I guess that's not all of them, but at Nintendo Dads on all of those. You can, of course, email us nintendodads@gmail.com. Head over to YouTube and find our YouTube channel, youtube.com/c/Nintendo Dads. You can call in and leave us some voicemail, which no one ever does, but I'm going to keep saying it anyway, just in case. That is 929-25-NDADS, 929-256-3237. Big thanks to OC Remix for our music, both at the beginning and end of the show, as well as to Carter Johnson for her amazing artwork that we have every single week on our cover art there. You can go over to megacarter.tumblr.com and check out her work there. It continues to be amazing. And if you want to change the world, head over to iTunes and leave us a 5-star review, and even a short written review there will really help get us into as many ear holes as possible. And if you're going to download the show, head over to iTunes, Stitcher, or vgtribune.com. For me, for Justin, and for Jesse, thanks for listening, everyone, and we'll see you next week. Bye-bye. Oh no, what have I done? Oh, whoops. Cool, and then we'll just fade it in from right there. Ta-da! Stop. There we go. Oh no, now it's gonna